Well, good afternoon. My name is Caven Masuku. I'm one of the lecturers in the media department at Midlands State University. And today we shall be discussing which is one of the modules that I teach. And it is quite interesting, you know. And political economy, from my experience and knowledge, is a module that needs extensive reading, and it encompasses quite a number of disciplines which make someone to be critical and analytic in view. It unlocks quite a number of aspects. And perhaps we have to start by looking at the history of political economy. And as you can see, there are two terms here: politics and economics, and the integration of the two. So someone would then say political economy translates to the study of the interplay between political and economic issues and the extent to which they permeate to other spheres of life. This concept of political economy, which can be regarded as a theory by other scholars, started at an Enlightenment period of 18th century, where the society was being transformed from feudalism to capitalism. And feudalism, land was very important, and we had two classes, that is the landlord and the serfs. And the mode of production was land, and the relationship was based on land. So when the society was transformed, moving away from feudalism to capitalism in the 18th century, which was necessitated by technological and great significant development of technology, which led to industrialization and commercialization. We had two classes by then, that is the bourgeoisie and the proletariat. And then the means of production here, we're looking at the industry. Talk of the Great Britain on Germany of 1800. And you find that labor became more important, just like land, and could be traded upon by the less privileged, those who do not own the means of production, to earn a living. So political economy, it's a concept that is too broad to understand. And if you read scholars like Quran and Kurevich 2005, if it is the third edition, 1997 if it is the first edition, and 2000 if it is the second edition, gives us what we call a general definition and an ambitious definition. And this scholar actually is supported by other scholars like Vincent Moscow, which can be either 1996 or 2009, and of course Boyd Barrett, 1995, and of course we've got Edward Hemani and Naomi Twams through one of their book called Manufacturing Consent. And then we've got neoliberal scholars like Robert McChesney, 2009, Trends and Political Economy of the Media. So this political economy of the media, it can be defined as the study of social relations, particularly power relations that mutually constitute to production, distribution, and consumption of communication products, including media products. So that's the general definition of the concept of political economy. And yet, on the other hand, we've got what we call the ambitious definition of political economy, which if you read Vincent Moscow, either 1996 or 2009, from page 1 to page 2 and page 15, they define it as the study of social control in life. And this Vincent Moscow is quite interesting, the way or the manner in which he unpacks this concept of political economy. He says that the term politics is derived from the ancient Greek terms like polis, which translate to city or state, and also oikonomos, which translates to house management. So when you are looking at political economy, you are looking at how media organizations are managed and the extent to which through management it affects the media content, which translates and also affects the audiences, you see. So when looking at political economy, we are looking at trade, that is buying and selling of goods within the laid down customary laws. And this aspect of political economy, it is too broad and it is macro in its approach. And when you're looking at macroeconomics, it is national, it is broad. It can look at political economy, it can look at inflation, it can look at labor. But while looking at all those factors, we are mainly concerned about the extent to which they can affect the content, which later on affects even the audiences who consume it. And then this political economy, it also calls for government intervention, because it strongly believes that if media are being left to private entities or owners, they might end up abusing the media, serving their own interests and abusing the less privileged. So there is need for government to intervene so as to protect the public interest. But then what is not known is that government may also be an interested entity which can also abuse, its power and shortchange the ordinary citizen. And this political economy of the media, it seeks to democratize, media content and protect the masses. But one thing for sure that it should be noted about political economy is that it is largely influenced by the Marxist fundamentalist, you see. So it is wholly Marxian in its approach, and it looks at how social inequalities, resurfaces in a capitalist system through the means of production. And Karl Marx and Friedrich Engels, 1818 to 1836, are the key scholars of this political economy, because they look at the extent to which wealth can be created in a capitalist system, but also how social inequalities, which is led by partial distribution of resources that are always scarce in the society. So those who own the media, they may use the media to serve their interests and to perpetuate their ideologies at the expense of the ordinary citizens. So political economy also looks at ownership and control pattern of media. How are media organizations owned, and how are they controlled by who? To what extent do media ownership then affects the content, which later on affects even the audiences? But one thing that is quite interesting is that when you look at the production that is being conducted by any media organization, it passes through various stages, and it's not one man who finalizes production. We have got the editors, we've got the publisher, we've got the news writer, and then those who deals with production. And you find that as the media content passes through all those various stages, there is mediatization, there is commission and omission and filtering, of the media content. And of course, I'm much more interested in one of the books written by Edward Hemany and Naomi Chomsky, 1988, entitled Manufacturing Concern. And some scholars like Jeffrey Clay in 2005 have argued that when looking at manufacturing concern, it is a book that is based on, goodwilling, and also seeks to explain certain issues that seem to be regulating the media content. And they look at five propaganda filters, mainly ownership and control, flag, sourcing, advertising, and anti-communism. So they look at even the symbiotic relationship that is developed between the journalists and their sources, and the extent to which it can lead to bias of media content and affect the media content. And then of course we've got scholars like Boyd Barrett. They go on to unpack this concept of political economy, and then argue that political economy came into being as a result of social change and historical transformation, where the society was migrating from feudalism to capitalism. And historical transformation, you can tell that everything was transformed here. The social relationship had to be transformed. And at the same time, we have to trace at the relationship, particularly power relations and power asymmetries, how they can be fostered through media ownership and media content, and looking at the intervention between capitalist enterprise and public intervention, and the extent to which they can affect, the media content. So it's an issue that is quite interesting, that I enjoy. But talking from my experience, I have always, found that political economy is not easy for my students to understand. So I try by all means to give myself time to educate them and soak certain concepts in their mind, like to make them understand what is political economy, what is classical political economy. Classical political economy, we are looking at the pure economists like Friedrich Engels and Karl Marx, Adam Smith, David Ricardo, Stuart Mills, and many others. And these were pure economists, and they believed in the democratization of the media and free market flow of ideas. They've got ideas. They've got a special term called laissez-faire, which translates to do not interfere, meaning that government should not interfere in media ownership and control. And also they view, media just like any business entity as a means of generating profit. So they view media as a pinnacle of commerce. And on free market flow of ideas, they strongly believe that government should not be involved either in media ownership and control, but they should just create a benign environment where the media players enjoy, owning and controlling the media. If government is to intervene, perhaps it has to intervene in an invisible way, but not through media regulation. So you find that this element of political economy, it can be understood also through two philosophies, that is structuralism and instrumentalism. And when looking at structuralism, it seeks to argue that when you look at capitalism, it is an autonomous system that self-regulates itself, and it dismisses the claim that he who owns the means of production also controls mental production, because capitalism as a system itself, they have got certain issues that also proves to be difficult, if not impossible, for the dominant class to regulate. Like you look at the economic crisis, which can lead to some booms and slumps. Like if there is an economic crisis like in Zimbabwe, you find that most of the media organization in 2007 up to early 2009, they were being affected because they could not get the newsprint, and they used to publish, few copies, and the circulation was not as broad as it used to be. So they were affected because even the returns were low, and you find that even the advertisers, because most companies were closing, there were very few. So, and yet we know that advertisement operates as the oxygen tank of any media organization. No media organization can survive without financial assistance from the advertisers. The major revenues of any media organization comes from advertisement. So this political economy, it is quite interesting, and it needs someone who reads quite extensively. And if you look at Hamlick, cited in Boyd Barrett 1995, he says that this political economy concept or theory is something that is very complex to understand. It deals with the digitization, it deals with technologization, it deals with consolidation, and many issues, of course. And Kuran and Gurevich 2000, from page 75 to 85, you find that there's somewhere where he argues that it is too broad, because it looks at the environmentalist, it looks at the sociological aspect, it looks at the feminist issues, it looks at the Marxist issues. So it becomes, very difficult, if not complex, to understand. And yet we've got another aspect also of instrumentalization. Instrumentalization, now we're looking at the media being used as a powerful weapon by the dominant class to serve their own interest. And it is strongly believed that those who own the media, who can either be a family or individuals, they do so to serve their own interest and to perpetuate their own ideologies, because it is known that out there are some people who have got a tendency of smearing the dominant class with some mud. So the media is there to spruce up the image of the dominant class so that they can clear themselves up. And we know there are quite a number of family media organizations at global scale, regional and local. You talk of the Bertelsmann from Germany. You talk of the Time Warner. In Zimbabwe, we've got, the Alpha Media. You mentioned them, and many others. They are owned by individuals, and they are there to pursue their own ambition. And that supports, Adam Smith's concept of world of the nation, that says that individuals should be allowed to pursue their own ambition, and inadvertently, the general citizens will then benefit out of that. So for today, I guess I'll end there for political economy, and then safe to say that for those who are willing to continue looking at the political economy, obviously they have to read books like Quran and Gurevich, Chomsky, Unnecessary Illusion, Boyd Barrett, Vincent Moscow, and Robert McChesney, Boyd Barrett, and for critical television analysis, and then Clean on filtering the news, an essay on Edward Herman and Naomi Chomsky, and also Edward Herman and Naomi Chomsky, Manufacturing Consent, which was published in 1988. But there is one simple version that I enjoy most reading, that is Trinat, 1995 or 2005, on popular culture. There's someone where he deals with political economy and some of the key factors that it is based on the economic determinism, and it is guided by the Marxist fundamentalist, and it deals with the element of reductionism. So those are some of the issues that you really have to familiarize yourself. So for today, thank you so much for listening to me, and I hope that next time I will continue unpacking, this concept of political economy. I guess with the little time that I had to explain to you, this will soak into your mind. Thank you so much for listening to me. Good day.